G'day everyone. Welcome back to another tutorial on CodeIgniter and continuation of the registration form. I apologise that I haven't posted a video in probably 5 weeks or something. For those that have subscribed, thank you very much, and you make me feel guilty. And I just received an email from someone just this afternoon, which is sort of, I was already thinking of doing this anyway, but it's prompted me to do it because it's a bit slack to sort of leave you up in the air like I have. So I am going to continue the tutorial now, and where I said I would leave, where I left off was we just completed the registration form, done a little bit of validation on each of the fields, and we'd successfully registered this user into the database. So what I said we would do next is look at doing an email confirmation system. Before I do that, I want to just show you how you do a callback function with the validation with the form validation library to actually check if the username and the email address already exist in the database. And previously, until recently, I hadn't noticed that there was these callback functions that you could use. So I used I would do the check in here before I actually registered the user. I'd do a check, and if it failed, I had to try and load the view back again, which was a bit awkward, but I found a way of doing it. But this is a much nicer way. So what we do is we create another rule. So we just tack on another rule onto here, which is a call to a function which is either going to return false or true, depending on whether the username already exists. So let's do that. So we'll start by in the model, we'll create a function which basically does the checking to see if that username already exists in the table. So create a new function called check exists username, and we're obviously going to pass it the username. And the query will be just select username from table user, where username equals, and that's going to be our username, and we'll just do result equals this the db query string, and pass in the username as that represents that question mark there, as you know. Okay, so that's going to bring back some results. It's either going to bring, if it doesn't exist, it's going to bring back no rows. If it exists, it's going to bring back one or more, and it shouldn't obviously be able to bring back more than one because we have this check here. But so what we'll do is do a check to see if the number of rows returned from that query is greater than 0. If it is, then the username exists. Otherwise, username doesn't exist, and they can go for their life. So that we're going to return false, because the way we're going to do it when we call it from the controller, we're going to say if a check exists username, right? So if it's true, it means that it exists, and if it's false, it means it doesn't. So that's, I mean, maybe that's not intuitive, I don't know, but anyway, that's the way we'll do it. So if it exists, we're going to return true. If not, we're going to return false. So let's go back to our user model here and create another function called let's say not. What's a good name for it? I don't know. Username not exists. Whatever. Okay, and we'll pass in username. Okay, so we're basically the form validation system is actually going to be passing this in. So we're going to have to set the do the check. So let's we got the username, so let's check it. So let's go to this user model, and what did I call it? Check exists username. Let's just copy that. Check exists username. Let's just say put an if. So if that's true, okay, then the username exists. So we're going to have to return false. Otherwise, it'll just otherwise return true. I don't think you need to do the return true, but we'll just do that anyway. And then I think you put this form validation set message, and then it's the name of the rule, which is username, and then it's the message that you want to say. So that, and it's going to be username. So the way you reference that is %s. That username already exists. Please choose a different username and try again. Right, something like that. Okay. So that sets the error message. Then we're going to go to the model, and we're going to check the username. If it's true, if it comes back true, which means it exists, then we're going to return false to the form validation library, which will trigger this error. Otherwise, everything's good. So hopefully that will work. So first we have to call it from here. So it's use callback underscore and then your function name. So username not exists. Okay. So you must have a callback underscore in front of it, and then that's just your standard function name there. So if you put it all together now, I'm going to go back to my registration form. I'll just refresh it. Hopefully we don't get any errors. So if we just do register, okay, it says the username field is required, so we haven't put anything in yet. If I put in anything I know is not in the system and register, it comes back and says it must be more than 6. If I keep going, okay, it's not complaining about it because it doesn't exist. But what we do know does exist is username Alistair. So where are we? So let's put in Alistair. Okay, and then register. I should get unable to access an error message corresponding to your field name. Okay, that's weird. Oh, I know. Sorry. So this that shouldn't be username. That should be this function name. Okay. So yeah. So the set message is setting the message for this. Right. So you can actually change set message string to lower, or set message XSS clean, or min length. You can actually change them in this same manner by just calling this function. So that should work. Now if I save that, I'll just go back and hit refresh, continue. Okay, that username already exists. Please choose another username. So that works. And in the next one, because I'm sort of running out of time again, at least we've accomplished one thing. In the next one, we'll do the email validation system, where we validate the person's username. Email address. And we'll probably add this in as well. I might do this between. I'll just check that the email address is unique, but I guess that's an exercise that you can try yourself. Just creating a new callback here under email. So callback email not exists or something. Create your function. Create your function in your model to do the checking of the email address, and so you can validate that as well. I'll probably do that before the next tutorial. So we do that, and then what we'll do is send an email out with a unique code that will be in the URL. They'll click on it, and it'll come in and say that you've validated your email address, and after which point they will be able to log in successfully. So we'll do that. But